أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأت بها الله إن الله لطيف خبير يا بني أقم الصلاة وأمر
Guys,
بالمعروف
okay.
وانه عن المنكر واصبر على ما أصابك إن ذلك من عزم الأمور ولا تصعر خدك للناس ولا تمش في الأرض مرحا إن الله لا يحب كل مختال فخور واقصد في مشيك واغضض من صوتك إن أنكر الأصوات لصوت الحمير. Continuing on with the story of Luqman. يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة. And Luqman alayhi salam said, O my son, indeed, if it, meaning if a wrong should be the weight, مثقال حبة من خردل, if it should be the weight of a seed of mustard, فتكن في صخرة, and should be within a rock, أو في السماوات يا بني إنها in the heavens مثقال حبة, or anywhere. And Luqman alayhi salam said, O my son, Allah subhanahu will bring it forth, it indeed Allah subhanahu is subtle and acquainted. O my son, establish prayer and enjoin what is right and forbid what is evil. وَاصْبِرْ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكَ, and be patient over whatever befalls you. Indeed that مِنْ عَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ is of the matters requiring resolve. وَلَا تُصَعِّرْ خَدَّكَ لِلنَّاسِ, and do not turn your cheek to the people in contempt, meaning rather respect them by directing your face and attention to them. وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا, and do not walk through the earth exultantly. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not love every everyone self-deluded and boastful. وَقْصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكَ, and be moderate in your pace. وَغْضُضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ, and lower your voice. Indeed, the most disagreeable of sounds, لَصَوْتُ الْحَمِيرِ, is the voice of donkeys. صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, bismillah.
Okay. Assalatu wassalam ala rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. We give praise thanks to Allah. Our Allah is to the present moment who has made me and you to witness the ongoing celebration of Eid al-Adha. And we seek His peace and blessings upon those and general accountability. I mean, on behalf of the director of the Congress Professionals, Lagos State, and the Lagos State TC, and we hope and pray that have a fruitful and joyous sessions together today. The greatest
The network is freezing there. Your network is not. Maybe you can shift. Just try to maneuver around there and see whether the improvement there will be improvement.
I will definitely do that.
I hardly hear what you are saying.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear you. Perhaps it's the video that is affecting it. Let continue.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Very loud and clear.
Okay, loud and
Maybe
clear.
the video is dragging the neck. Yeah.
Okay, loud and clear. Okay, let me try to see if the video
seems to
will
be dragging
okay.
the network. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do us a favor? Can you do us this favor? Take off your video and let's see what better improvement we can have. Yes, go ahead now.
Is it okay right away?
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
Loud and clear.
So it means I may not be able to use the video,
Yeah, we are with
at
you.
least for the meantime.
Yeah, we are with you.
Okay, thank you very much. In fact, somebody is also confirming, Brother Taufik, legally, it's also confirming that it's better. So please, pardon me, I don't have control over the network, so I may not be able to use the video for a while. So maybe in due course, I'll be able to switch on the videos that we can have a better session together. So, inshallah, we'll be starting the program right away. Like I said before now, I said we give thanks to Almighty Allah, who has made it possible for every one of us to witness the ongoing Eid celebration, because we are still celebrating. We'll still be celebrating even till tomorrow. Okay, because in Islam, we celebrate the first day, second, and the third day. So we are still celebrating. So I want to say Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you. So inshallah, we'll be starting today's webinar of the Congress Professionals Lagos States with an opening prayer. But before saying the opening prayer, once again, I want to say the testing, should in case you didn't hear me properly the other time, by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please, can somebody respond to the testing so I can confirm that you can hear me properly?
Wa barakatuh.
Oh, no.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much for that. I'm happy. Thank you. I'm grateful. So, we shall be starting the program now with the first thing that a Muslim is expected to use in starting a program of this nature, which is opening prayer. In other words, we say in His name, that is, we want to start in the name of Allah. So the person which I will be inviting to help us render the opening prayer is the Secretary of the Congress Professionals in Lagos States, in person of Brother Abdullah Termizi. So, Brother Abdullah Termizi, can you please render the opening prayer? So I'm not sure Brother Abdullah Termizi is on call, so I want to use this medium to invite Brother Abdul Karim Arile Shere to please stand in for Brother Abdullah Termizi in giving us opening prayer.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has made us Muslims until this day, and we beseech him to shower his blessings upon the noblest of mankind, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all those who follow his path till the day of Qiyamah. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who in his graciousness has made it possible for us to witness this Eid, and also the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, which are the best days of the year. We pray that all the little we've been able to do, that He accepts it from us as ibadah, and that He blesses us in abundance. As we go through this program also, we pray that Allah will be with us and guide us and help purify our intentions, and most importantly, make us eventual inheritors of Al-Jannah. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin.
Amen. Thank you very much, Ustaz Abdul Karim Arile Shere, for standing in, for filling the gap, for standing in for Brother Abdullah Termizi. May Almighty Allah accept the prayer that you have rendered as an act of ibadah, and may He reward you abundantly and reward each and every one of us. Amen. So quickly, we shall be moving to the next item on the agenda. And the next item on the agenda is recitation from Kitab. We want to hear from the glorious Quran, from the words of Allah. And the person who shall be doing this for us is Brother Abdul Hakim Muhammad Al-Awwal. Brother Abdul Hakim Muhammad Al-Awwal, please, can you unmute and do the recitation? Oh, it appears Brother Abdul Hakim Muhammad Al-Awwal is not on call, probably because of the festive season, probably has traveled and is still on his way, or probably where his location, maybe the network is not good and things like that. So I wouldn't know. It appears Ustaz Ayeni Adeshino is on call. So I want to appeal to the admin to please allow Ustaz Ayeni Adeshino to be able to render for us the recitation from the glorious Quran. So Ustaz Ayeni, while the admin is working on how you are going to mute, I want to quickly inform our guests on the program for today that today's webinar, inshallah, is centered, around a very serious issue, a very topical issue, which borders on how to reconstruct our society, on how to make our society better, knowing fully well that today in our society or in our country, virtually everybody, including those in governments, are not comfortable with the situation of things in the country, virtually everybody. And it is on that basis that the Congress professional think it is important that we discuss question of parenting. And inshallah, we shall be discussing parenting today. I can still see that Ustaz Ayeni is here to unmute. Admin, please, can you allow Ustaz Ayeni to unmute so that he can render for us the recitation from the glorious Quran? So as I was saying,
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. He's ready.
Okay, it's ready. Okay, please, if Ustaz Ayeni is ready, Ustaz, I won't take much time. Can Ustaz Ayeni please recite for us any poem today to please recite for us. So Ustaz Ayeni, recitation from the glorious Quran, please. The floor is yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Am I audible enough?
Very audible, very audible.
MashaAllah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس ضرب مثل فاستمعوا له إن الذين تدعون من دون الله لن يخلقوا الذباب لو اجتمعوا له ولئن يسلبوا الذباب شيئا لا يستنقذه منه ضعف الطالب والمطلوب ما قدر الله حق قدره إن الله لقوي عزيز الله يصطفي من الملائكة رسلا ومن الناس إن الله سميع بصير يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم وإلى الله ترجع الأمور يا أيها الذين آمنوا اركعوا واسجدوا واعبدوا ربكم وافعلوا الخير لعلكم تفلحون وجاهدوا في الله حق جهاده واجتباكم وما جعل عليكم في الدين من حرج ملة أبيكم إبراهيم وسماكم المسلمين من قبل وفي هذا ليكون الرسول شهيدا عليكم وتكونوا شهداء على الناس فاقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة واعتصموا ومولاكم فنعم المولى ونعم النصير صدق الله العظيم.
Allahu Akbar. Almighty Allah is great. Once again, I want to appreciate Ustaz Ayeni for filling the gap and for giving us a very fantastic recitation from the glorious Quran. The Almighty Allah accept it for you as an act of ibadah and those of us who listen, attentively, the Almighty Allah equally accepts it from us and out of the Bible, because there is a great deal of reward for those who recite and those who listen carefully to renditions of the glorious Quran. The Almighty Allah accept it and out of ibadah for each and every one of us. Amen. So once again, thank you so much for coming to our rescue at this point in time. May Almighty Allah increase your knowledge. Amen. So we shall be moving quickly to the next item on the agenda, which is introduction of guests. Definitely, we are all some people are the facilitators of the program of today, and to that extent, it becomes important that we introduce them to every one of us who is on call. It is in that regard that I have the honor of introducing to the whole house the director of the Congress for House and the President Abdul Wahid Adeba. Director of TCP, can you please say testing to the house?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Eid Mubarak to all of us.
تقبل الله منكم ومنا.
Ameen, mashallah.
Thank you very much. That's been a wonderful and accept all the self-work as an act of ibadah. Next to be introduced to the whole house is the leader of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State. You all know that the Muslim Congress in Lagos State is the parent body of the Congress. The Muslim Congress in Lagos State is a very humble handsome and diligent stars in person of Alhaji Inshallah Tajuddin Yusuf Olushisi. Wali, please can you say testing to the house?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters on the call. I say,
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya wali. تقبل الله منا ومنكم أجمعين جميعا.
Now, Jazakumullah khairan. That's our wali. Thank you very much. That beautiful one. In line, the next person in line is the Chief Administrative Officer of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State, and that is the person who has been ensuring the of the administration. He has been keeping our records and has been visiting us as Abdulaziz Abiodun Olawumi, the Secretary of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much for that. That's our secretary, the Secretary of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State. So once again, you are welcome, sir. Now we shall be moving to the next item on the agenda. As other invited guests come on board, inshallah, I shall be introducing them to the house, particularly the guest lecturer for the day. So the next item on the agenda is welcome address. So somebody will be talking to us, please give us your welcome address. The floor is yours, sir. So please, can anybody confirm that you can hear me properly?
MashaAllah, you are audible enough, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So we are waiting
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh
for
once again.
welcome address of
I'm on.
oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for my address.
Assalamu
Thank you
alaikum
very
wa
much,
rahmatullahi
Utas.
ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum
It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this July edition of our webinar. And as we can see, the topic that we are also dealing with is topic that concerns every members of the of the Muslim Ummah, and we know that it's important as Ummah for us to take care of family, and family, as the Prophet ﷺ has also taught us, that when we keep our family, we are also keeping a great nation. And we know our nation is in a comatose. What is the way out of this comatose? The best thing is for us to go back home and look at how have we been dealing with ourselves within the family. Our usra, is it also working? Is it taking place as we have also scheduled? These are issues, these are things that we need to go back to and bring back whatever that comatose, and just get that off our system. It is important for us to note that family plays a bigger role in the society. The society that we have, we know that if we are not upright as Muslims, we know what our contribution will be in a negative way. As Muslims, our contribution should be such that when we are dealing with ourselves, dealing with our neighbors, dealing with the society, we are impacting and we are influencing the society positively to put them on the right track. And that's exactly why we are out here, to also talk to our people, talk to people all over the world, to know that family plays a bigger role in the society, in the nation. When we are building a nation, when the family is also not upright, then that nation is nothing. But it's only when we have from home, we give them training. When they get to school, they also have other training. When they go to Arabia, they also have a better training to ensure that the society becomes the very place that every one of us will live. I welcome you once again. As you know, TCP is a professional body under the auspices of the Muslim Congress. We know the whole essence of us coming to the society, to the public, is also to ensure that as professionals, we need to influence ourselves. We need to up our game as Muslims first before we see ourselves as professionals. Because that lecture, that building, the impact, what Islam has impacted in you is exactly what we want you to also show to the society. When you are dealing with people at work, at your place of work, you need to deal with them rightly. When you are dealing with people outside of work, you need to also deal with them, professionally. And that's why we say, look, as Muslims, we must ensure that we continue to upgrade ourselves such that wherever you are, you'll be seen and known for who and what you are. We have a lot of programs that we have rolled out, and as the months go by, we'll also be hearing from us. And for our information, we have also had a kind of centralization that the national body of the TCP has also come up with a program that will unite all the states that TCP operates from. I don't want to take our more time again because the lecturer is on. So welcome our lecturer, Dr. Sofara Namotokwe Adeni. You are welcome on board, sir. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to strengthen all of us and keep us in the faith, in the path of Islam, and ensure that I pray that we continue to do what we are expected to do, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to guide us rightly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Director, for that beautiful welcome address, and your rundown of some of the things that will become professionals. But yes, taking us through some of the things that we're looking out for in today's lecture. The Almighty Allah accepts the welcome address from you as an act of God. Amen. So quickly to the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda ordinarily is lecture. I'm not so sure that I spotted the lecturer on call at that time, but now I can assure you that our great teacher is on call. So the topic for the day is the nation in comatose, Islamic parenting to the rescue. Just look at it, a nation in comatose. This needs no further explanation. If you are in Nigeria, or even if you are living in Nigeria, definitely understand what we are saying. How do we explain it? Virtually every facet of our lives, nobody is satisfied with what is happening in the country. And at the same time, the Congress professional is saying Islamic parenting to the rescue is to rescue the situation. And in discussing a very vital topic of this nature, the Congress professional has looked around and they have decided to come up with, a prolific writer, by excellence, somebody with excellent orative power, somebody with impeccable moral virtue, a great teacher and a role model to so many of us, author of over 30 books. When you go to some bookshops and you see Dr. Adini, you're like, imagine, So today, in fact, having him discuss what he loves doing, the most, because he has been rearing, a lot of children, a lot of us for over time. He rears so many children. He's director in Vanguard Academy. It means he understands what many of these children are going through. Okay, he interacts with them. So, inshallah, you're putting his wealth of experience and knowledge together and discussing with us today. And the person which I've been talking about is no other one but our dearest doctor, Dr. Adeni Yomotope Zafaran, popularly called Dr. Zafaran Adeni. So I have the privilege of introducing him to the whole house and also have the privilege of inviting him to start his lecture. The Almighty Allah make it easy and accept it as an act of ibadah. Doctor, please, the floor is yours.
Amen.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We indeed thank Allah for sparing our lives to witness one of the greatest days in the year, day of Nahar, when animals are slaughtered for Allah. We ask Allah in His infinite majesty to continue preserving us for more of such in life. Starting from that point, the celebration, as we are still celebrating really, has to do with parenting too, because if the incident of Ismail had not happened, probably there may not be Eid al-Adha. So we can say clearly that the celebration of Eid is a parenting issue. It's about a family, a father, a mother, and a child who were destined to build a nation. And the father had a dream. He now said, Ya bunayya inni ra'aytu fil manami an adbahuka. You can imagine the kind of the mindset there that the father had a dream of slaughtering his child, and he broke the news to the child that he was to be killed. What was the response of the child? What was the response of the mom? The child said, I bet if Umar, my dad, you have to discharge what your Lord has said you should do. From that, we can see the kind of child Ibrahim produced. In the case of the wife also, even before, when the child was just a baby, when the child was a baby, the mother was tested. When the boy came out of age, the child was tested. In the two cases, the father was tested. When the mother and the father came to the desert then in Arabia, then He left the wife there with his baby. He was to leave, acting on Allah's instructions. No single person was around, no food, no water, no metal. So the wife asked the husband that, are you acting on Allah's instruction? He said, yes. She now said that if it is that, then Allah will not leave us alone. So we can see that the father, the mother, and the child were all a setting of a family that knew where they were going. That is the first thing I want to just take advantage of the season to raise. That is a parenting issue. Because we are talking of a nation in comatose, a nation in malady, a nation under siege, a nation that has failed itself. But nations do not just come out of out of thin air. Nations start with individual. And we need such individuals like Abraham, getting the right wife like Hajar. When we have the two like that, then we have children who are virtuous and righteous. So when we discuss nations specifically, we are talking of families. When like a scholar somewhere explained that, he's an American scholar, Cyril Jones, he explained that what happens in the family will happen in the Senate, will happen in the assembly, will happen in the nation. So today, if nation is in comatose, is only a mirror of the home. That is what we must get right. The nation is not the issue, it's the families that are the problems. So the comatose is in the family, is in the individual. That is number one. Number two is to now explain the nation itself to kind of analyze of what the nation has become. What do we observe? Is a nation that now propagates and promotes comedy. It promotes entertainment at the expense of what can build the nation. We promote comedy, the comedians make their millions. We promote movies, the actors make their money. We promote sports, the sports people make their millions. When people will dance and sing, we give them millions. When we have big Nigeria, big Africa and the likes, they make their money and they cause more problem for morality. All this is what the nation is going through. Attention is shifting to entertainment because they get more money there away from the family. And we all know that no nation is built on comedy. No nation is built on movies. No nation is built on sports, on football, on anything. What builds a nation is the family, is the quality of morality, is the quality of the investment in the brain and the soul. These two will naturally build the nation, the soul and the brain. But today, what do we see? We now have leaders who now become cheaters because they are from failed homes. Since the homes are failed, the families are failed, we now see the effect in our offices. The one that steals, the one that embezzles, the one that siphons is a reflection of the home, because if the homes were healthy, they can't do what they are doing. We see the effects in our schools. We see lecturers who take advantage of our young girls. We see lecturers who, because of material gains, have to, give marks away for money. We see students who will go to our institutions and become wayward simply because the home has failed. So when you see lecturers or students misbehaving, is a reflection of the home they had come from. And of course, in our marketplaces, we see the effect also when the market woman will not be truthful, even swearing by God on falsehood. It's because the home the person came from is faulty. So clearly speaking, we can start to mention one by one in our ministry of finance, of education, of this and that. Every sector is a reflection of the home. And what happens? We now suffer several log jams, spiritual log jam, political log jam, economic log jam, cultural log jam, moral log jam, because nobody is safe again. Security issues, those who are constituting problems, who are they? They are humans like us. The bandits, they are humans. The kidnappers, they are humans. The armed robbers, they are humans. The bad leaders, they are humans. So you can see that we just need to return to parenting as an issue. When we get that one right, we can be rest assured that we will sleep deeply with our two eyes closed. But if we spend billions of dollars, of nairas, of euros, of liras on the entertainment, on artificiality, on materialism, or the material outlook of things, we are only increasing our pains. The pains will not go. They will become like drugs that we feel can solve our worries or our sorrows. Temporarily, the sorrow may disappear because the brain has been befogged, but not longer than the effects disappears and you realize that you are nowhere. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters and the dean and listeners and viewers, you will realize that we are in serious crises, that we are not safe even inside our hearts. So what do we now do? We go back to where the problem started, and that is parenting. Parenting could mean, but could be biological. Parenting could also be that of, biological means that you give birth to the children, fine. There are times we involve in teaching people. It's equally parenting. That's our common approach to life before. Even the children you did not give birth to, they live with you or you teach them, it's parenting also. But that cultural understanding is missing these days. Everyone is focusing on his own child. And that's why we are getting it wrong. Yes, agree that you start with your family. Quran tells us, chapter 66, verse 6, that ku anfusakum wa alikum munara. It's a trust. But the trust is more than that alone, because we live in society and all that surround us, to either our neighbors, their trust on us, extended family, their trust on us. So by that definition, we can say that all children that pass through us, either as our biological or via our training or educational, they are our children also. This is how we must see children. How we must see parenting is all persons going out to help the children. That is the definition I want to adopt for parenting. When I say parenting, how do we go about it? Because it's not just about marrying, having children, talking to them. No, parenting is a conscious approach, it's a conscious methodology, it's a conscious arrangement, it's a conscious syllabi, it's a conscious direction, it's a conscious mentoring of students, pupils, children. So when we do it consciously, based on scientific principles that are laden with spirituality, what we call Robaniya, because at times parenting may be so beautifully carried out, when it lacks the spiritual aspect, it gets nowhere. Therefore, we say that parenting in Islam is something that must be consciously done. Having said that, how do we now go about it as those who want to actually sharpen the course of parenting? Today, the challenges we face should let us realize that our attitudes must change. in how we rear or bring up our children. For example, the attitude of accidental parenting must stop. The attitude of instinctual parenting must stop. The attitude of indifference to parenting must stop. You know, so some feel that they are too busy to learn about it. No. You realize that most people don't read about parenting or how to bring up their children. It's a skill. You have to be trained, you have to learn. For example, most first children, according to some authors, were brought up by, try and error. Try and error. Just this child, okay, you just be teaching the children, just be acting based on intuition as the child is growing up. The experience they gather from the first and second child is what they will now use on the third child if they'll be third child. Unfortunately, the first two children may not survive proper parenting. That is why we have to make parenting a conscious, deliberate effort so that we can have a very good result. Other professions in life, we learn them. We spend years. So we need to equally have a cultured, structured parenting approach to children training. The era of I'm too busy, why should I? Some feel it's absurd. I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, why should I go to for me to be learning how to train to bring up my child? No. That's some feel it's absurd. Some feel they already know. Lectures is enough, some pure arrogance affect them. Whereas today, my dear brothers and sisters, our children in the modern time, I do say that the children are endangered, they are estranged, they are entangled, they are encircled. This is the situation of children today, like case of a lion pursuing a man. The man ran to the tree was cut halfway. While on the tree, thinking that he has escaped from the lion, unfortunately, the tree has been cut halfway that may fall soon when there's any wind. Unfortunately for the man on the tree, there's a big snake by the branch of the tree. He tried to escape to the other branch. That same branch has eaten up to a level by a mouse. Then he tried, unfortunately again, the branch was across water. He now felt, let me jump inside the water to swim away, even though I don't know how to sleep. Unfortunately again, there were crocodiles, about 2, waiting for him to be swallowed. So what does he do now? On the ground, on the land, there was lion. On the tree, there was a snake. Even the tree was about to fall because it has been cut halfway. And inside the water, crocodiles, whereby they are not finding it so easy. Communal life has disappeared. Many things they don't understand. They suffer from language deficit. They go through hell when it comes to social media, which were non-existent in our days. You will recall that. The NTA, for instance, then will come on air 4 o'clock in the evening, and it will close by 9 or 10 at night. That was all. But these days, what do you see? 24 hours, the stations for sports, stations for cartoon, stations for laughter, stations for movie. Just like a child can be in a room for 20 years watching different things non-stop. This is what they are facing today. And internet has not come to help matters. So any parent in the modern times must see it as an issue, that the parenting issue is something serious that you can't just toy with, because the children need mercy. When they need they need shafaqah, a kind of mercy that what they are going through is beyond them. That's why I say they encircled, they enstrained, because things they hear, music on the right side, movies on the left side, nudity on the other side, all these things are affecting our children today, that they require that we must face the situations. Because today we see children growing and being religiously low. Yes, some come from so-called Muslim home, but when they get out of the home, they misbehave, they tell lies, they involve in other immoralities. Yet they are from Muslim homes. We have seen cases of those who become pregnated. Yet they are children, daughters of our fathers, alajas and alajas. Do we keep on watching like that? When a nation wants to rise from its slumber, we must return home. And that is why any serious government should invest more in the home, should invest more in what can stabilize the home, should invest more in what the home should be, the school can be helping the home. But today, they spend time, spend resources on relevant projects. They spend resources on material outlook of life. And you can see many homes suffer poverty, suffer hunger, suffer want, suffer disease, and several other things like that. That at the long run, such children grow to become criminals. So when they feel that life is not finding so easy, here is somebody by the right side having fleet of cars, maybe 10, 15 cars inside the compound, very big mansion. Here's the other side, somebody living in a kind of ghettos, in a kind of house that there's no window net, there's no see, there are very good doors, there are mosquitoes all over the places. So these children may feel that we are not meant to suffer like this. So this is a problem the nation has created for itself. And until we return to making sure every child is equal in the true sense of the word, not like Animal Farm of George Orwell, that all animals are equal, while some are more equal than the others. Look at seriously and critically by any serious society or nation that these children need special attention. So today, what do we see? We see them going to drug abuse. When a child is in drug abuse, what happens? You realize that he can't be useful to himself. He will now become a problem to others. So he will be dangerous to himself and become detrimental to others too. Many homes are no more stable. Some homes at times is single parenting. Either the father is living alone or the mother is no more there. The child has to grow up in such an environment. Some schools are not safe for children because the teachers are taking advantage of them, messing them up, and these things like that. Then again, we see high tech affecting the children. They go on Facebook, they go on porn, they go on YouTube, all these things damaging their life in all ways, such that we now realize that we are in serious problem. Language-wise, they are suffering the deficit. Social media, they are in danger. Games, sport all over the places. People are becoming shameless as they move on in life. We see several things happening to these children, gangs, fashions. You see the boys now, the way they wear their trousers, the waist, and the like, the girls, the fashion nudity. They are no more dressing up, cultism all over the places. Music have not helped matters. It's causing a problem. Music teaches nudity. Music teaches immorality. Music teaches them to become celebrities that are destroying the children. You want to become musicians because they make more money. And this cannot build a nation. You can see several of those music, those lyrics, those songs they sing, they don't teach morality. You cannot compare the music of the modern time to the music of them, like Aruna Sholali, Gali Mukhaiba, Yusuf, Latuja, and the likes. No, I'm not justifying their music, but definitely the instruments, the messages, the logic, the proverbs. Modern music teaches criminality, teaches romance, teaches all the kind of things that can destroy society at the end. So all these ones are things we face in the modern life of parenting. No more village life. Parents are not available at home. Children can have pool of friends across the world. And of course, even when it comes to living well, eating well, all these things are not going fine. That is why, as Muslims, as professionals, we now have to realize the danger we face when we don't have a very good parenting approach to solving the national or the problem. Thus, today, what do we see? We now have madrasas and Islamia schools out, parenting, outsourcing center. So we now outsource parenting. We send children to madrasa to learn what they should have learned at home, akhlaqiyat, send them to Islamia to go and learn. So the mother doesn't have any role to play again. She pushed them out, and there's no way the role they will play can be like the home. Muslim school become local parents, boarding schools to relieve burdens, former employed teachers who start to teach their children. You have a loaf understood better than nothing at all. But in the case where you suffer more damage, what do? Thus, what do we see? We have leaking buckets over the places. Every home is leaking. for obvious reasons, we do understand what we want to do. When it even comes to styles of parenting, some are authoritative, some are authoritarian, some are permissive, some are adhesive, some are protective, some are even democratic. So we need to get the styles that can help our children in modern times, because that style will go a long way. If you are authoritarian, authoritarian means that they must do what you want them to do. The wife must comply, children must comply. They will comply, but some children will grow to become authoritarian too. They can be authoritative. They must know your yes, they must know your no, but you at times try to involve them to a level. Thus, we must know that we need to adopt the right time to move on and to help build our nation. Our parents are the forerunners. They are the vanguards of national reconstruction or construction or building. Things have failed, so we must admit that, and that's what we are seeing outside today. You know, all evils we see today are the evils in various homes. If, for example, in a village or in a town, we have 20 people. Out of these 20, only 2 families were able to train their children properly. They teach them to be obedient, to know the civic rights, to be law-abiding, not to steal, not to fight, not to tell lies. But other families fail. So you can now see what impact those two will make in society. That's what we are facing today. If at all we have any family that is actually doing the right thing today. So we need to get that one clearly, that the Islamic home or parenting as an issue beyond just Islam alone is an issue we must return to and ensure that the right things are done. And how do you go about that? When it comes to, parenting, there are a lot of things we have to consider. My first proposal is that parents have to be reschooled. They have to be retaught. They have to be refined. They have to be redefined, because they are the drivers. They are the captains. They are the pilots. So when we now reschool them, they now realize the role of parenting. They now realize the danger staring us in the face. You now have to redesign their approach to life, because today the work life has taken us away. The mothers, by design, by default, are in charge of the training of the children. What happens today? Mothers are not at home. Fathers are not at home. And this not being at home affects many things. Children tend to learn wrong values. They become so free with the tech, with television, with movies, social media, with bad friends, and on like that. So also, children are no more secure because parents are not around to protect them. Security here does not mean that the house is being burgled. No, security of their character and their brain and their morals. Things they watch on television, things they are fresh tell them, things they learn from their friends who are even far away from the environment. Because the parents are not around, children suffer this very deficit also. Therefore, parents have to be put through a training to realize that one is a trust which they will account to Allah. Yawm al-Qiyamah, Quran chapter 66 verse says that protect your family and yourself from hell. Meaning that any society or family that fails to properly train children will suffer hell in this world and in the next world to come, as we are beginning to see today. So we need to reschool our parents. That is one. I want to reschool them, realizing that they have a lot to do. The next thing to do is what? To now teach them how to go about it. Some parents don't even know what to do with their children. They don't realize that, number one, the changing dynamics, they have to get it. The children changing faces from childhood to teenagers, early teenagers, late teenagers, young adulthood. What things are they facing as issues, as problems, as challenges? These things parents have to realize. That is another thing they have to get clear. For example, teenagers, issue of sex as an issue of freedom as they want it, issue of tension or stress as they go through, the sexual hormonal changes, the peers' privacy they want, the freedom, attention they deserve, which we don't give them today. How do you now blame the children that you don't have time for? In the first instance, it's a serious issue that they came to this very world. They did not demand to come, we brought them. So when we now brought them, we now left them at the shore, not having a time for them on the sea. So this is a problem that we have created ourselves. So parents, apart from being re-schooled, being examined, redefined, and the like, they now need to now be taught, taken through how do you go about managing your children. This we can do with system books that could be provided, that is one angle, could be done through conferences of parents, could be done through seminars, through symposia, that they will now, like, in fact, the times can be like class setting, that they will learn those in modules, Today, there have been several efforts to write about children, every stage of children. When a child is age 9, these are the emotional things you will see, the physical, the social, the academic, the intellectual. When it's age 11, you observe this. When it's age 13, you observe this. There are books people have written on that. So that's one too, parents have to be taken through. Children will go through some challenges, different stages of life. They will go through it. How do we manage them to overcome that? That is another thing I think we have to do. When we are doing these things, you realize that society today, children now have to go to school. Yes, you have to go to school. That is where the government has to come in now. If the home has been repositioned properly, restructured, then the school have to equally be repositioned and restructured. Because then, if you can remember, teachers were kings because they inculcate values in our children. But these days, those who want to imbibe or inculcate values are themselves devalued. You can see that that's happening today. So the government now has to know that teachers, like even the curriculum, that no nation can rise above the quality of his teacher. So we need to properly reschool our teachers, especially in the realm of morality and intellectualism, whereby children must learn too from their teachers. They must see them as models. But today, we just see people just make speeches who just talk and their actions are not actually justifying what they say. A teacher dating a student and several cases like that we have seen in modern times. So that's one too. The teachers who want to train the children have to be in the school. Then the program, the curriculum, the syllabi have to be done so that to be relevant to their students' practical life. Then teachers must teach it rightly. Then the school environment, the school appearance, in terms of how they even dress, it's not something so small. When girls in secondary school, mature girls will have clothes that do not cover their armpits, that do not pass their half of their time. What are we teaching? We are teaching porn in a way, because the young boys there will definitely, because the hormonal changes in them will affect them, and they want to actually start running after the girls. These are some of the areas in the past when schools were schools, children were properly given the orientation. That's an aspect that the government has to consciously come in. When we do that, it's a level of parenting at school level too, because teachers are locals, parents, by extension too. When they get to higher institutions too, the lecturers, all those ones there too, will build on what is coming from the secondary school. But today, what do we see in primary schools? What do we see in secondary schools? What do we see in universities? It's very, very unfortunate. So a nation in comatose is a failure of the home. So we need to go back to the home, reconstruct the society. Outside that very one, we now have to realize that parents have to start doing some things. Among many others, parents must now become friends of their children. The era of forcing them is over. They are exposed to many things. They learn so many things in a minute. So that's why parents must equally up to the task, being conscious of the reigning things, trending things, through which they can enlighten their children on the right perspective to life. So they need engagement with their children, and kind of engagement, have time for them, don't neglect them, attend to their needs, then give them practical situation of life, tell them stories about your life, give them scenarios, test them, examine them, put them on different ways to know how they are doing, how they will cope. For example, you have a child in university, you can just bump in unknown to her, you are coming and just see her live or him live, whatever he's doing at the school level. This is an area I think we have to look at also, engaging the children appropriately based on their age. Then also we need to ask prayer, like in the Quran, Ibrahim prayed that Rabbi habili minas salihin. He prayed to Allah to grant him righteous children. So this one too, parents have to realize that they must be praying at all time, because children training today is not so easy. Parenting is more tasking than any other time, because you can't just predict, you can't just trust any child 100%. Those who don't even talk can be the most problematic. Those who talk may be lesser evil. So we can't just predict, because some may be good at home, they are bad outside. They are bad outside, they are good at home. So you can see that a lot of influences happen to our children. So we need to, the goal of prayers, we need to get that one clear too. And of course, we have to read books on parenting, at least from an Islamic angle. We have several book scholars have written that one can go through to actually help us to get bearing of how to help these very children. For example, we have a book by Child Education in Islam. There's a book like that by Abu Abdullah Nasir. In that very book, it discusses responsibilities for sexual education, responsibility for social education, responsibility for psychological education, as well as physical, ethical, intellectual, and children perversion too. In that very book, the author discusses them like that. Then also we have another one called Fanus Tina'il Bikriyat Mal Abna by Abdullahi Abdul Mutir. That one is kind of memoirs of how that scholar tried to gather children's view about their parents, how they view their parents, and that one will help one to actually guide one children too. Then I wrote a book called The Digital Child, of course, where I discuss the homes today, language change, trends, analog versus digital parents. Also, another book is The Girl Child, where we discuss the issue of crush, big girl issues, sex by force, sex lover, girl child education, child drive, case studies, and the like. That very one too. Then my child and I too, one of the books on parenting I wrote in our homes was there too. Then another book by Hisham Atolib, Abdul Hamid Abu Suleiman, as well as Umar Atolib, almost 500 pages book. That one too discusses child-parent relations, a guide to raising children. Any parents who are trying to read this very book, so I think it will go a long way to assist the parents in preparing the children for the future. In summary, my dear brothers, sisters in Islam, the issue we are discussing tonight, this evening, is a very serious one that discussing will not solve any problem, rather than just stimulating us. But we need to see how we can consciously bring parents to learning table. We can consciously bring them for evaluation and appraisal of how things are going. We need to create a situation whereby we have forum for parents alone, fathers and mother, father, mother, and children, gathering that will bring them together. We discuss common issues. We let them see the problem we are facing. Where we have to appeal, we appeal. Where we have to use scenarios, we use scenarios. Where we have to censor at times, we have to censor. Because on the long run, the nation bears problems make the nation. The homes, like somebody tried to explain that. When you talk of reformation or change, he said, close your eyes to the world. Don't bother about changing the world. Leave it alone. Let the world be what it is. Go back to your nation. Down your nation too. Don't bother yourself that I want to change the nation. Go to your state. The state is too big for you. Leave the state. Go back to your local government. It's too big for you. Go back to your street. It's too big for you. Go back to your house. The house is even big for you. Go back to your room. It's big for you. Go back to your bed. Then change yourself in your bed. When you change yourself as an individual, then the change starts to radiate and gets over everybody. So on this note, I pray to Allah in His infinite mercy that this task of parenting, Allah will help us. When we do this very one, nation will be at peace. Everything will go well. We have good governors, good president. Look at the assistant here, like Bruno, for example. Now, what's that? Zulumon's place there. You see how things are going. That person is the product of a parent. And we have other governors who are just there like dummies. Some are just dummies and dummies. But see, a governor that with the resources is little is getting. See what is the one that is performing there. So imagine all governors in Nigeria are like Professor Zulum. You can just imagine. Also, person are president. So you can see that things are going to move well. But that's what effect a nation can suffer. But now that the parents have failed, We suffer it economic, we suffer it socially, we suffer it morally, we suffer it spiritually, we suffer it politically, we suffer it culturally. Because today our cultures are giving ways for foreign cultures that do not have meaning to our values. So I think comatose of our nation is a function of reconstructing our homes and propelling our operating in the right direction. I think with that, we can have a nice place to live in peace and be at peace. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was a very fantastic and interesting, discussion. Very educative and interesting. The lecturer was speaking to the realities on ground. We pray Almighty Allah to continue to be with our guest lecturer, and we pray that Almighty Allah continue to increase him in knowledge and understanding. I want to urge each and every one of us to please say Jazakumullah khairan to our dearest stars. Jazakumullah khairan. Very serious and frank. Yeah, thank you very much for that discussion by Dr. Zafaran Adeni, the CEO of Vanguard Academy of States. And for about 45 minutes or thereabouts, he has been discussing with us a nation in comatose, Islamic parenting to the rescue. That's what he has been discussing with us this evening. And don't forget, he has also made it very clear that discussing the topic won't change anything. Rather, it is merely to stimulate us, and what is most important is for us to act. By acting, then we can change things. And he has also, told us that we should strive as much as possible to change ourselves. Don't even bother changing the country. So definitely the country will become better for it. So once again, stimulation and for calling our attention to very critical issues about parenting. The Almighty Allah assist bringing up our children. And so anyway, people have been reacting, people have been asking one or two things. Inshallah, we shall take that at the appropriate time. Call, we realize that we have one or two information already being displayed. So I want to invite the finance manager of the Congress professionals in person of our brother Shakiruddin Animashaw to please call for donation.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear, sir.
We thank Almighty Allah for this wonderful lecture we've had from our research for today. And we pray Almighty Allah make it to be of abundance to us. As in the spirit of this month of Eid al-Kabir, Allah is showing us an example in Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah is showing us a sacrifice in cleansing the world, in making the world a great place politically, socially, morally. And Allah is showing us his sacrifice, his human sacrifice, his sacrifice in terms of wealth, his sacrifice in terms of his family. And Allah is showing us that whoever does this, Allah is going to bless them. Allah is going to make their name to be continued to be remembered all over the world. Allah is going to make them an example for the whole world. And this is our home call. The Congress professional, TCP, is calling on you, our attendees of today, that want us to come together so that we can both come in and sacrifice our wealth, come in and sacrifice our person, come in and sacrifice our profession, our intelligence, our resources, in order to create a new wave of social, political, and moral development in this nation. So this is why we are calling on you. We are calling on you for your membership. You can come in onto our website to register as a member. We are calling on you for your financial donation. Our account number is there, so you can donate to us, so we can come together to achieve this, because it's only the power of synergy. They say the power of synergy is 1 + 1 can be up to 16, can be 32, can be 42. It's not even 2. So it's this power of synergy we want to use with you, combining with us to achieve all this. So we are calling on you to come in, joining us as a member, come in and donate to our cause. And we pray that Almighty Allah continue to bless you as you donate towards this cause. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Brother Shakiruddin Anima Shao, for that very beautiful one. And I guess the admin will continue to display the Facebook address and the accounts of the Congress professionals so that brothers and sisters who want to help the cause of Allah will be able to do so. And those who want to contact us can equally have opportunity of getting across to us. So once again, thank you very much for that. So we'll be having one or two comments about the lecture. Now it is the time for questions and answers. And we already have a question, and somebody posted a question, and the person is Brother Adeola Jadi. He asked that Ustaz should please mention the names of the books that he mentioned. He mentioned about 4 books during the lecture. And he also requested by mentioning one. So maybe Ustaz, Dr. Sir, can you please help us mention some of those books and probably how they can get it?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm already typing in order. If just the name of the book, the first one is Child-Parent Relations, A Guide to Raising Children. Child-Parent Relations, A Guide to Raising Children. It's about 453 pages by Hisham Talib. It's a 3-author book. Hisham Talib, Abdul Hamid, Abu Suleiman, and Umar Atolib. You Google it, you can get the book. It's 453 pages, inshallah. Second one is In Our Homes. Just like 3 pages, one of my books. So in the Muslim bookshops or by order, you can get that one too. My Child and I, my book also, 64 pages. The Girl Child, my book too. The Digital Child, one of my books on parenting. This one is Arabic book. Fanu Sinai Adh-Dhikriyat Mal Abna. It's Arabic book. So that's by Abdullahi Abdul Muti. Then we have a Child Education in Islam, 400 plus pages by Abdullah Nasi Ulwan. Child Education in Islam, Abdul Nasi Ulwan. So then the other one that I did not mention is a 6-series book that I bought when I traveled to Saudi then. So I don't know what's in the market. Home Trajectory, Child Upbringing, Family Interaction, The Adolescent, Child's Problems, and A Child Reads. There are 6 series by Professor Dr. Abdulkarim Bakar. Professor Abdulkarim Bakar wrote those books. Home Trajectory, Child Upbringing, Family Interaction, The Adolescent, Child's Problem, Children's Problem, and A Child Reads. Shukran. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Do you have any other question? If you have question, please you can signify by raising your hand. And if you can't raise your hands, maybe you just sit the steam so that you can quickly take your question while the program is still ongoing. So any question from anybody? Please, admin, probably allow people to be able to unmute and speak, at least for this session. Okay, while awaiting questions, I want to invite the Wali of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State. I'm not so sure he's still on call. Okay, Wali. It's not on call. I would have loved that. Okay, question fully. there's no question because the topic was well delivered and very explicit, very explanatory. So probably we don't have other questions. So I want to quickly move to the next item on the agenda, which is vote of thanks. So I would like to invite Brother Qasim Abdul Rashid, the Deputy Director Administration of the TCP Lagos State, to please give us vote of thanks. Walaikum salam.
I will give thanks so much to Allah for His blessing and blessing upon our lives. We thank Him, we appreciate Him for all His blessings, and we appreciate what He has been able to bestow in our life to witness another Eid. There isn't this reason to say Eid al-Mubarak to everybody, and at the same time, we are praying that Takabala Omena wa minkum, may Allah accept from us and accept from every one of us too. Alhamdulillah for the wonderful lecture of God this year. When I started raising my family, I was actually afraid of not feeling as parents. Alhamdulillah that the person we invited today has also shed more light on the books I was able to acquire from him. All these books you mentioned, I've been able to get them. I contacted him and it was easy. I always sent the payment and the book was delivered to me. So I'm also encouraging everyone of us to try to get, especially those that are written by our lecturer. And at the same time, from what he has said, we've all seen it that once as the parents, once we fail, definitely there is going to be comatose in society. And to avoid that, we're already in a particular phase where the society is struggling. And it is we that we can actually change the direction of the society. And to change the direction of the society means we too as parents will not fail. So not failing as a parent is for us to make sure that everything that our lecturer has discussed with us today, we put it into practice, and if it is possible, let us try and get those books that have been recommended so that we don't fail as a parent. So we thank Thomas Allah we are appreciating what the lecturer. We pray Thomas Allah to continue to give him more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and to also put back and whatever he did in his hands on. And we appreciate everyone of us that have been able to attend the webinar despite the celebration that is ongoing, because some are still feeling their arms today, and like what the moderator said, that we still have chances of feeling their arms, not just only yesterday. Some will see it today, some feel today, and some will see it tomorrow. And even outside all this schedule, we see that some still have that time to join us. We see that that's a lot of fire. And for those who are unable to join us, you know, we are in a celebration period. We pray for my time to accept it from every one of us and that of the brother. And we pray for my time to make everything more instructive to the heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Brother Abdul Rashid, Brother Qasim Abdul Rashid. May Allah accept that as an act of ibadah. So we are rounding off with the program, and we shall be rounding off with a closing prayer. And the person that has been scheduled to give us that is Brother Abdul Kabir Gbadebo. That is the TCP coordinator in Ikorodu zone. Brother Gbadebo, please, if you are on call, can you please unmute and give us the closing prayer? Okay, it appears Brother Gbadebo is not on call. I have the honor of inviting Brother Abdul Rafi Pilani to please render the closing prayer.
Now, we give thanks to Almighty Allah, Alhamdulillah, who has made today's program an easy one for us. We thank him and beseech and glorify his holy name. So we want to thank everyone who has participated. And we are praying that may Almighty Allah accept this effort from us as an act of those of us who have joined, and we pray that all the lessons that we have learned from our scholar, that may Almighty Allah make it easy for us to implement, and may make our children to be better children, to be a better Muslim, and to be beneficial to this to Islam and to the generality of Ummah. Bismillah wal asri. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asri inna insan la fi kusri illa allazina amanu wa aminu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Sallallahu alaihi kareem.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Thank you
DDA. Assalamu alaikum.
for coming. Inshallah, we shall meet.
DDA. Malam Abdul Rashid. Are you there? Yeah, please make this thing available, even if it's going to be the audio. Let the audio be available for sharing on Telegram. After all, the hours is not the time taking is not long.
Please, it is very important that this lecture.
Yes, it has to. Please, whatever you can do, you will need to do to get it on. Everybody needs to have access to it.
Very important. Thank you very much.
See that the significance of the topic to the present festival. You can see that is very key. So please, so don't forget to. How soon will that be, sir? Malam Abdul Rashid.
Inshallah, there is my work on it.
Okay. You said?
Once the recording is available, I'll see what I can do around it.
You said once what?
Once Zoom is released, the recording, I will see what I can do around it.
Don't see what you can do do something about it, Do something new, Allah Ashiron. Assalamu alaikum.